I was dying. Literally dying. On that rain-soaked night when thunder drowned out the sound of my sobs, and the taste of blood filled my mouth like bitter truth. My name was Alara, once the devoted wife of Ethan Valtor, the powerful CEO whose empire stretched from boardrooms to broken hearts, and the so-called best friend I trusted more than my own sister was Lila. Sweet, smiling, venomous Lila. The cancer had already eaten through my body, but what tore me apart faster than the disease was the sight of them, the two people I loved most, walking hand in hand into the prenatal clinic, her belly round, his hand protective around her waist. I stood outside in the pouring rain, hospital gown clinging to my frail frame, my heart shattering with every flash of lightning that illuminated their betrayal. He hadn't even come to see me in the ICU that morning. Instead, he went to her, my best friend, carrying his child. I remember whispering to the nurse, "It's okay, let me go now." And then, darkness swallowed me whole. But death was not the end for me, it was my beginning. When I opened my eyes again, I wasn't in the hospital. I was lying in a golden bed, surrounded by servants calling me, "Your Majesty." My hands were unblemished, my body strong, my reflection regal, a queen in another world. I didn't understand how or why, but I knew one thing. I had been given another chance, not just to live, but to make them pay. In this new realm called Velithria, I was Queen Alara Dione, ruler of an empire of light and shadow, blessed by the goddess of fate herself. My memories from my past life remained intact. The pain, the betrayal, the agony, burning like a second heart within me. The royal court whispered of the queen's mysterious change, once meek and submissive, now fierce, commanding, and sharp as the edge of a blade. I learned the arts of strategy, politics, and even combat under the guidance of the royal knight commander, Lucian, a man whose golden eyes seemed to see through every mask. He told me once, "A heart broken in two worlds is the strongest weapon in this one." Little did I know, the threads of fate were weaving our worlds together again. As I ruled Velithria, visions began haunting me, fragments of my past life flashing in mirrors, dreams of Ethan's company crumbling, Lila's tear-streaked face begging forgiveness, and a mysterious voice whispering, "The gate between worlds opens only for the betrayed." My rage became my crown. I built alliances, crushed enemies, and reclaimed power piece by piece. Yet beneath the glory, a shadow stirred, the shadow of my past life bleeding into my present. When a mysterious envoy arrived from the other realm, my blood froze. It was Ethan, alive, older, regret carved into his face. He was seeking the Queen of Light, rumored to possess healing powers that could save his dying wife, Lila. My hand trembled, but my heart hardened. He didn't recognize me, of course. To him, I was a legend. To me, he was a ghost I once loved. I smiled as I granted him an audience. "Why should I save your wife?" I asked coldly, my crown gleaming under the torchlight. His eyes were filled with guilt, the kind that comes too late. "Because she's dying, and I owe her everything." I almost laughed. Dying. The irony of fate tasted sweeter than any revenge. He didn't know that I was the one he had let die once. As he knelt before me, I remembered the night he whispered to Lila that he wished he'd met her first. My kingdom could feel my fury that day. The winds howled, the sky darkened, and the flames in the palace torches turned blue. Lucian stepped forward, sensing my turmoil, and whispered, "Your Majesty, forgiveness is not weakness. It is choosing peace over poison." But I was not ready for peace. Not yet. Days turned into nights of torment. I visited the mirror of prophecy, an ancient relic said to reveal one's true soul, and demanded it show me the fate of Ethan and Lila. The mirror shimmered, and suddenly, I saw them. Lila in a hospital bed, her body frail, her eyes filled with regret, whispering my name. Ethan sat beside her, holding her hand, tears streaming down his face. "I wish I could tell her I'm sorry," he said. "I wish she knew I never stopped loving her." My heart clenched. Loving her, or me. The mirror blurred, showing a heartbeat between worlds, mine. I realized that fate had bound us in pain, but perhaps, just perhaps, I could untangle the thread differently this time. I ordered a ritual, the rare, cross-realm descent, a forbidden act that could merge both worlds temporarily. Lucian tried to stop me. "If you cross back," he warned, "you may lose your crown, your power, your soul." But revenge was my fuel, and curiosity was my curse. I whispered to him, then let me lose everything, just once more. The ritual began under a blood moon. Light enveloped me, tearing through time and space, and I awoke, in my old world, inside my hospital room, alive again. My fingers trembled, touching the same wedding ring that once symbolized love and betrayal. It was as if time had rewound itself, but not quite. 5 years had passed. Ethan was no longer the CEO, he was broken, drinking away his guilt. Lila had lost the baby and her sanity. The universe had already punished them, but not enough. I walked into his company one morning, dressed in power like never before, as the new investor who'd bought out his failing shares. His face paled when he saw me. Alara, he whispered, disbelief turning into horror. You died. I smiled. A cold, knowing smile. Maybe, but I came back to finish what you started. Every employee gasped as I took the CEO chair, reclaiming everything he stole from me, piece by piece. Lila stormed in days later, wild-eyed and trembling, begging for mercy, accusing Ethan of ruining her life. He used me. He never loved me like he loved you. She screamed. For the first time, I saw the truth. Not villains, just broken people chasing love the wrong way. And yet, I couldn't forgive them. Not yet. I exposed their secrets, revealed their betrayal publicly, and watched their empire crumble. But the night I saw Ethan standing on the bridge where we once promised forever, ready to end his life, something inside me broke again. The queen in me, the one who had learned power and mercy, took control. I walked to him, took his trembling hand, and whispered, redemption isn't found in death, Ethan. It's found in living with what you've done. His tears fell like the rain from that night years ago, and I realized, revenge had given me satisfaction, but forgiveness gave me peace. When I returned to Velithria, the goddess appeared before me, radiant and solemn. You have faced both love and betrayal, vengeance and mercy, she said. Now choose, remain as queen, or return to Earth to begin anew. I looked at Lucian, whose eyes held a silent question. In him, I saw everything I'd ever wanted, respect, partnership, and love without lies. I choose to stay, I said softly. The goddess smiled, and the past dissolved like mist. I was reborn not as the dying wife, not as the betrayed friend, but as a ruler of my own destiny. Years later, on a quiet evening, I stood on the balcony of my palace, the golden sunset painting my kingdom in shades of redemption. Lucian joined me, placing a crown of roses on my head. You've beaten your ghosts, he murmured. I smiled, looking into the horizon where two worlds once collided. No, I said, I didn't beat them, I learned from them, and that's what made me a queen. Sometimes, death doesn't end a story, it rewrites it. Love may betray, but destiny always avenges. Heartbreak crown. When death gave her another life, she became the queen her enemies feared. Don't miss this breathtaking saga of betrayal, rebirth, and revenge. Dizzy, subscribe now for more stories that will steal your breath and touch your soul.